Hi everybody. Have you ever had a memory and then you had to stop and actually question yourself whether this was a memory or if this was something that someone told you and you couldn't quite make the distinction between whether it was an actual memory or if it was just something you overheard, especially something from when you were a child? I want to talk about the idea of reincarnation today. You know, this idea that a soul leaving this realm can be born into a new body. And there are a couple fascinating cases, but there's just one in particular today that I want to talk about. And I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Like, do you think this is a pseudoscience, or the research that goes into it produces pseudoscience? Or do you think the people who report these stories actually are really the person reincarnate? So I want to talk about this one particular case, one of the biggest cases, actually the first case that got the research on this topic going. So let's talk about that today. I so want to finish this video today. I am so tired. But anyway, I'm so excited to just share this story with you because I found it so fascinating. So the story is, it takes us to India, a town called Mathura, India, in 1925, when a woman by the name of Shanti Devi, she gives birth to a baby boy, and she dies just 10 days after giving birth. So this is 1925, October 1925 to be exact. Then in December 1926, a baby girl is born. And this baby girl is Shanti Devi. And she is living in Delhi, which is about 90 miles from Mathura. Now, about the time that Shanti is 4 years old, she starts telling, her parents that I don't live here. I live in Mathura with my husband, and that's my home. Delhi is not my home. So of course her parents are wondering what this little girl is talking about. What is this? What is she talking about, that she doesn't live here with us and that she's married and she's 4 years old, right? So she also starts telling these stories at school, and the teachers and the headmaster, they get wind of her stories, right? So they call her in and they sit her down and they want to ask her some questions, right? So she sticks to her story. She says, I died 9 years ago, and this was 10 days after I gave birth to my baby boy. And I don't live here. I live in Mathura. And they notice as she's talking, as she's telling her story, that she starts to slip into the dialect of this other town that she says that she is from. So of course the school is just baffled by this, and they wonder what the heck is going on. Her parents can't really offer anything because they don't know either. They are just as perplexed. So the school contacts the husband because she gives them the husband's name. They find him in Mathura and they ask him about his wife and some details that the little girl had provided to them. And he confirms these things. He says, yes, my wife was Lugdi, and she died 9 years ago, 10 days just after she gave birth to our son. And who is this little girl and what the hell is she talking about here, right? So he, wants to know more about what's happening. So he travels to Delhi. But because he doesn't know what to expect when he gets there, he decides to travel and pretend that he is his brother rather than himself. He's going to go and pretend to be his brother. But when he arrives and when he sees her, when she sees him, she recognizes him immediately. And not only that, she recognizes the son who, was traveling with him. She recognized Lugdi's son. And he starts to ask her questions, questions about Lugdi's upbringing, about her family, about their marriage, about their life together, about his business. So all of these things that, only his wife would know, right? And the little girl answers all of his questions, and she's very sure of herself. And at the end of that session, he is convinced that this little girl is his wife reincarnated. So he is 100% convinced of what she's saying. And just imagine what a shock all of that has to be, not just for him, but his son and for her family and for the teachers and for everybody, you know? So the political leader in India at the time happened to be none other than Mahatma Gandhi, and he got wind of this story, and he set up a commission to investigate because he wanted to know more as well, right? So he sets up a commission, and this commission begins to investigate. They travel with Shanti and her family in 1935 to Mathura, and when they arrive, you know, Shanti recognizes the family. She recognizes the family members, you know, she knows who they are. Even Lugdi's grandfather, she recognized him. And she even went so far, and this is what really gets me, is that the husband had made some promises to Lugdi when she was on her deathbed. Some things that he would do, some things that he promised her, right? Some time has passed. The little girl, Shanti, who says that she is Lugdi, she gets around the family and she realizes that he didn't keep the promises that he made to her while she was on her deathbed. He was neglectful, and she was disappointed about that. And of course, only Lugdi would know the promises that she asked him to keep, right? So the commission, after all of this is said and done, they said, yeah. And they supported her claim. They said, yes, that she really was Lugdi Devi, who died in 1925, that Shanti was this woman reincarnated. This was the commission's finding, right? She was also interviewed by other researchers, and other researchers supported what she said. And, you know, there are so many articles written about her, but there was one researcher who didn't believe her claims. You know, he wasn't able to come to the same conclusion that everybody else did, that most other people did, and he just didn't support her claim. But again, there are so many articles written about her. There are books written about her. One I think is really fascinating, where she goes into detail about what happened to her when she died, where she was, what she was experiencing, and what it was like to be reborn. So she actually goes into those details. And I would be happy to upload the audio for that book if people are interested in learning more about her. So leave me something in the comments to let me know that you would be interested in listening to her story. So, but yeah, really, really fascinating. There's another story, and I read this one in Psychology Today magazine. It's about a young boy, a young American boy, who, while he's 3 or 4 years old, he's playing around the house, and he starts telling stories about when he was a fighter pilot in World War II, and how his plane crashed, and how he died, and how the fire was so horrible, and how the fire just consumed everything. And, you know, he told the story enough that his family sat him down and tried to figure out what was really going on. And that investigation found that there actually was a fighter pilot who had died under the circumstances that the little boy described. And there was no way for this little boy to have known this, right? So this little boy was this pilot reincarnated, right? So yeah, really, really fascinating stories out there about this kind of thing. So I don't know, but I do find it really, really, really fascinating. So, and I just wanted to share it with you today. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, if you are interested in hearing more about Shanti Devi and her story about what happened to her, I'm happy to upload the audio. Just let me know. And also, if you're still with me, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.